Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning. How are you?
Happy Terryless Tuesday.
Happy Terryless Tuesday. I don't celebrate Terryless Tuesdays. I can't
Nobody
wait to have
celebrates Terryless Tuesdays.
I can't wait to have him back full time, though.
it.
Oh, man. Just so everybody knows, Terry out the next 2 days dealing with funeral arrangements for the family. So we'll have a ton of guests over the next 2 days. It's going to be fun. But do you guys know what today is?
Taco Tuesday.
No. What's today? Think about it. What's the date?
The 21st.
It's Tuesday, June 21st. And not just any ordinary Tuesday, June 21st.
What's so special about it?
Well,
It's special because it's
first day
June
of
21st
summer?
and this fat fuck is still the GM of the Detroit Tigers. That's the whole meaning of today.
Okay.
Very special day here in Detroit.
you start on a good note for once.
Never.
Okay.
Never with this guy in town. Just never. You can't do it. I don't know how you guys want me to sit up here and be positive. Oh, Tigers lost yesterday to the Boston Red Sox. 5-2. Riley Green hit to the opposite field. Everything's okay. It's okay, Avila. You didn't just completely mess up the last 6 years of this rebuild and put the team in no serious position to actually compete for anything. What happens if AJ Hinch doesn't come here last season? Huh? Ask yourselves that, all of you at home. By the way, good morning to all of you at home. Ask yourselves, what happens if AJ Hinch isn't the Tigers manager going into last season? Then what? You don't have a top 4 manager, right? Top 5 manager. Depends who you ask. He's definitely top 5. I think top 3. What happens if you don't have AJ Hinch last year? How many games do you win? 55? 60? Maybe 62? 63? Then what? Then what? Is the rebuild 100% over going into the season? I don't think so. So I want to know. How is the rebuild 100% over going into the season? And you have no farm system to trade at the deadline for pieces to add to your team. You didn't add a veteran bat going into the season, even though you had the funds to do it. I want to know why. Eduardo Rodriguez, really working out. I know he has personal problems, so I'm not going to dog him too much. That signing's not working out. Javi Baez, not working out. And typically, when you give that kind of money to that kind of player, you can't afford, literally, to mess it up. Especially when you're apparently the Tigers and there's no money available. So, yeah, it's June 21st, Maddie. Avila is still the Detroit Tigers GM, and I'm quite not sure why. It's a sad day here in Detroit. But speaking of the Detroit Tigers... You better be prepared
for him to still be here by the end of the season. I hope you know that.
If he's here by the trade deadline, I would be shocked.
Well, get ready to be shocked.
I doubt it. I doubt it. The Tigers played the Red Sox yesterday. Decent outing for Faedo. Struggled down the stretch. I think he got pulled in the 5th. He looked okay, but Boston has 3 of the 5 best hitters based on batting average in baseball. Not just in the American League, in baseball. 3 through 5 belong to Boston. That is a strong lineup. And the fact that they only gave up 5 runs, I thought was impressive. I thought it's a testament to how the pitching is done all season. But the runs are what they are. They got 10 hits at least, right? 10 hits is nice. Usually they score a run on 4 hits. And it's like, well, that was another game where you did nothing. 2 runs on 10 hits. They got on base, couldn't take advantage of it. Torkelson, again, 2 of 3. Another multi-hit game. And that's the thing with Torkelson that I'm starting to realize is, if he's having one of 2 games, 0 for 4 or 2 for 3, 3 for 4. There's no in between with him right now. But his batting average approaching 200. He's batting 198. Javi Baez batting 200 exactly. He had a 2-hit performance last night, so got to give him a little bit of credit. But at the end of the day, your lineup is led off by Victor Reyes, the only player in the lineup outside of Riley Green who's not really even qualified batting over 300. Of course, you have the Castro brothers that can be put in and out of the lineup. But at the end of the day, Matty, Miggy went 0 for 4. He's batting 291 on the year. Grossman 1 for 4, 214 on the year. Candelario 183 on the year. Scope 195 on the year. Barnhart 226. Haas 202. This is a team that just can't hit the baseball right now. It's a team that hasn't been able to hit the baseball all season. That's really frustrating because, again, you go into the season with more expectations than the year prior because you're always looking for improvement. To win 80 games, 82, 83 games this season instead of 77 going into the season, I didn't think was a big ask, especially considering you have one of the better managers in baseball. So somebody help me this morning understand what is next for the Detroit Tigers. Is Avila going to be your GM? Is he going into the trade deadline and the MLB draft? You tell me. You tell me. He's going to finish out the season? He's just suddenly going to resign? Why would he resign? There's no pressure on him from ownership. Until Chris Ilitch comes out and says, we're not happy with our front office. We're not happy with the players we've put out on the field. This is unacceptable. Avila's lost his job. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to take Chris seriously. And again, in baseball, it's being an owner in baseball is quite easier than most sports. There's no salary cap. You can actually decide whether or not you want to take your team seriously. And I'm not asking for $500 million to spend in one offseason gung-ho. No. This was your first actual summer of spending, I would say, expectation money, where people expected more from you and you actually delivered. And you spent it on two players who are not contributing to this baseball team at all. And I don't have to go through the bucket list of Avila's accomplishments. Upton, Zimmerman, J.D. Martinez, Justin Verlander. We don't need to go through that. We don't need to go through the list of all the failures he's made. All the draft picks haven't panned out. And the only one that you could argue right now has panned out completely is looking like Tarek Skubal. But hey, Stewart's in the system, right? That's nice. Daz Cameron, you got him out of the trade. Thank you, Al. I hate opening up with the Tigers because it's absolutely depressing as hell. But you guys tell me, should Avila remain the GM of the Detroit Tigers? I don't think so. I don't think any of you think so. And if we want to run a YouTube poll, Alex, I'm down for that. Should the Tigers fire Avila? And I don't think it should be a question anymore. I think it should be a demand. How is this guy still in a job? Help me, somebody. I do not understand. How can you suck at your job for 8 years and your bosses look at you and say, doing a good job there, buddy. How about we give you a contract extension? Help me, Maddie.
When are you protesting?
This week.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's happening.
Are you going to wear your fat suit or are you just going as you?
I think I'm going to go down and protest just normal. I'll just dress up casual. And then for the game, I'm going to go in my fat suit.
When's the game again?
Saturday.
This Saturday?
I think so, yeah. I have to check my calendar.
Wow. I thought it was a Friday night game.
Could have sworn it was Saturday. I haven't looked at my personal email in a week.
How do you, like...
Yeah, how do you
just
live life?
No.
Yeah. Like, there's no way you just don't know.
Because I bought the tickets because of Andrew Jonah, and he, forced me to do it.
Watch, the tickets were for, last Friday's game.
Yeah, they already passed.
Imagine. I doubt it. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
It does, because you're not going to the game if they were last Friday's tickets.
Well, I'll just buy new tickets then, but I'm pretty sure they're this weekend.
Okay.
But that's beyond the point, buddy. So, yeah, here we are. Avila is still the GM of the Tigers. The poll so far, 97%. Who said no? Expose yourself. Whoever you are. I want to know. Who actually said no? Who's the one person? Who's the jackass? I want to know. Who's the one who decided to be different this morning?
I wish I could say it was me, but it wasn't. Oh.
I want to know who's the jackass that decided to be different this morning. It's all right. This is a judgment-free zone.
That's
not
the
gonna.
most false thing you've ever
Yeah.
said in
Very
the
false.
studio.
Jesus Christ. No shouldn't have even been an option. It should have been yes or F yes. Unbelievable. Well, look, we got a great show lined up today. I am going to give you my top 5 Detroit Lion players heading into the season. Coming up next, we have Jim Harbaugh and the NIL situation at 8:30. 9 o'clock. Jesus Christ, Maddie. 9 o'clock. Jeff joins the show. We're going to release our first NBA mock draft. Of course, we'll go over the Stanley Cup final game last night. Kyrie Irving on his way out in Brooklyn. And, of course, which Big Ten team is under the most pressure? We'll finish up the show with that at 9:40. So we got a fun show lined up. Maddie's laptop is breaking in front of me. Everything is okay. And we will go to break. When we get back, I'm going to give you my top 5 Detroit Lions heading into the 2022 season. But before I do, I got to tell you my top 1 betting site that you should be placing your bets on, and that's MyBookie. MyBookie, bet from anywhere, anytime using MyBookie. If you don't have an account already, sign up today using code Woodward. They'll match your first deposit. MyBookie, whether it's prop bets, individual bets, spreads, you want to take the over, the under, regardless of what you're interested in betting on. Hell, they even have a casino if that's what you want to do. At the end of the day, do it on MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Adam, I have a question for you. What would you rather? Keep Avila or Russell Westbrook to the Pistons?
You bitch.
That's a good question.
That's a great question. Keep Avila or Russell Westbrook to the Detroit Pistons.
You might fire me because I'm saying keep Avila.
I'll keep Avila.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Congratulations, Al. That's the only way you're saving your job. That's the only way I'd keep Avila. I would rather have Avila for the next 2-3 years than Russell Westbrook. I don't need Cade Cunningham learning how to play basketball from an idiot. So, how about we leave that there? All right, top 5 Detroit Lions heading into the season. I had fun with this list. I thought long and hard about it last night. A lot of it are defensive and offensive linemen. It's quite interesting. There's only 2 skill position players on the list. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift, like you'd expect. Where Jared Goff lands on this list, if he's even there.
He's engaged now.
He is engaged. Congratulations, by the way.
Congratulations,
I'm
Jared.
a
Right
decent
after Jared
human.
Goff.
I can offer my congrats every once in a while. Just no happy birthdays. All right, let's start with number 5. My 5 most important Detroit Lions heading into the season. Number 5, we are going to start with Penei Sewell. Penei Sewell, I think by the end of the year, could be this team's best player. Penei Sewell, by the end of the year, I think would have likely made a considerable bid to be an all-pro tackle. I think he's going to take a hell of a leap forward as a player, as an individual, going into this season. This is year 2 for him. I think he's a gold jacket guy. I know Neil on Big D Energy loves to say that a ton. I do agree with him. I think he is absolutely a gold jacket type player. He's only getting stronger. He's only getting more experienced. And sometimes in life, guys, slower is smoother is faster, right? So you don't have to go 100%. You don't have to rely just on your strength, your raw natural ability. You can actually learn and understand the game and technique, and he will only get better with time. So I'm super, super excited for that. Number 4 on the list, a player that I would love to see be in the top 2, top 3 at the end of the year. I doubt it, and that's Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a top 5 player on this team. He's the quarterback. You can't go to any team unless they absolutely suck and find a quarterback not in the top 5. Goff, I could have made the case he should be at 5, and you can put Penei Sewell over him, but I think Goff, to be honest with all of you, is going to have a better season than most of you expect. I expect somewhere along the lines of 4,000, maybe 4,100 yards, 25, 26 touchdowns. If he is the Jared Goff we've seen over the last few years, 11, 12 interceptions, probably 13. If Goff has a better year than what we're accustomed to, and Ben Johnson really does a lot of good work with him, well, then I'd say 9, 10 interceptions, which would be pretty damn solid. So, of course, Jared Goff, number 4, again, the quarterback position, the most important position in football. Goff is going to dictate whether or not the Lions have a good season or not. They are not experienced enough yet, and their young talent isn't in their prime yet to compensate for average quarterback play. Now, coaching may be able to do that, but we'll have to wait and see. Season hasn't started yet. Number 3, this is an interesting one. Again, their 5 best players, the most important players heading into the season. You're going to leave players you don't want to leave off, but you know what? Honest to God, Frank Ragnow, I think, is going to be very important this season. His health will matter. He's a top 3 center in the game. This is a top 3 offensive line in the game, and I think you're catching the trend here. The offensive line is the most important unit on this football team. And that unit, including Frank Ragnow, is going to be the unit that will dictate a lot of Jared Goff's success. So yes, do I think Jared Goff is an MVP candidate this year? No, I think whoever says that is ridiculous. Again, take away the extreme, which is the highest data point, and the lowest extreme. And just go average out the middle. And what do you get with Jared Goff? Roughly 39 to 4,100 yards, 22 to 26 interceptions, 11 to 13 interceptions. Did I say interceptions the first time? I meant touchdowns. And then 11 to 13 interceptions, excuse me. Ragnow is going to be a big addition to this team, considering he was injured for a majority of last season. So the top 2, by the way, this was difficult because I think you all know who number 1 is. He was the most proven player last year. He produced at an elite level down the stretch. I'm not going to say his name. You already know who the hell I'm talking about. I really wanted to include Taylor Decker on this top 5, but I didn't want to have 3 offensive linemen on my list either. That doesn't mean they weren't deserving. And if I were to have a 6 and 7, Decker would be probably 6. Having said that, I think the most important piece and a top 5 player heading into the season, and it's not just on skill or ability, it's also impact. How much impact can you make? And I really want to have this guy higher than 2, but he hasn't proven it yet, and that's DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift this season could very well lead the NFC in scrimmage yards. I know people make fun of Flannel Sam all the time. I agree with him. What's your leading rusher in the NFC going to be? 1,100? 1220? Maybe 1250? DeAndre Swift should be able to run for over 1,000 yards if he's healthy the whole season. And when I say should, I mean he better damn with that offensive line. And then, of course, he's a threat out of the backfield catching the ball. So, yes, DeAndre Swift, I think the second most important player on this Detroit Lions team going into the season. Me, personally, It's tough for me not to have a quarterback in my top 2 for any team, but with this team, it's such a different situation, right? Josh Allen, obviously number 1 on the Buffalo Bills. Herbert 1 on the Chargers. Burrow 1 on the Bengals. Mahomes 1 on the Chiefs. You go to a team like Miami, for example, well, probably Tyreek Hill, and then Tua. So even then, an average quarterback is making your top 2 there. Not the case in Detroit. I think the offensive linemen are so important. We've already gone over Jared Goff. Now DeAndre Swift, who's going to be an X-factor impact player this year. Or, excuse me, he has the potential to be. I think he must if the Lions want to find success this season. He's your second most important player. And then, of course, I think the easy decision. The easy decision is, call it what it is, Amon-Ra St. Brown is the best and most proven skill position player on this team. Notice TJ Hawkinson's not on this list. Notice Taylor Decker is not on this list. Aiden Hutchinson, even though he's a rookie, is not on this list. None of your pass rushers, nobody on the defensive side of the ball. Your team is built on offense. You have a top 3 offensive line, Detroit. You have a deep backfield that will serve you very well over the course of a season. You have a quarterback who, let's just call it what it is. Sean McVay did lose faith and trust with Jared Goff. Not all of Jared Goff's problems. And I'm not going to sit here and sympathize and defend Jared Goff because the Rams made the absolute correct decision by trading for Matthew Stafford. They just won a Super Bowl. They reached a level they believed they could not reach with Jared Goff. What's the problem here? No problem. That does not mean Jared Goff doesn't belong in the NFL. Now, does he belong to the bottom tier quarterbacks or mid-tier? I believe he's a mid-tier quarterback. I do think he's better than average. I think in a good game, he can put up numbers that you see from some of the top 8, top 10 quarterbacks. But I don't think he's that consistently over a whole course of a season. But this guy is going to be the reason why. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I believe, should lead the team in targets. I believe should lead the team in receptions, should lead the team in yards, should lead the team in even touchdowns. Yes, Hawkinson, red zone threat. DJ Chark, red zone threat. You can run the ball in the red zone if you want with this team. Sure. Nobody was more impactful in the final 8 games of the season than Amon-Ra St. Brown. And Jared Goff, I believe, has never been in a better situation offensively than I would say year 3 under Sean McVay. Year 4 was a disaster. Not to Sean McVay's fault, but if you notice, the Rams started to not be able to do what they wanted to do. With that protected Jared Goff, by the way. The Rams weren't a good running football team. Even last year, they won the Super Bowl. Sony Michel and that offensive line was not some, oh my goodness, the Rams could really run the football here. Play action, misdirection like Sean McVay earlier on. It had nothing to do with that. This was Sean McVay realizing he had to evolutionize even his play calling, his game plan. And he knew he didn't have a quarterback that he could do it with. That's no problem. That doesn't mean you can't win games with Jared Goff. That doesn't mean Jared Goff won't be a fantastic quarterback for you this year. That also doesn't mean he won't be a bad quarterback, right? He has the ability to play very well and very bad. And that's why he's a mid-tier quarterback and not one of the best in the league. Consistency is everything. So, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I believe the most important player on this football team going into the year. The best player going on into, the best player on this team going into the year. And he's proven it, right? Because if we're just going on talent, if this is my top 5 most talented Detroit Lions, you could arguably put DeAndre Swift at number 1. You could arguably put Aiden Hutchinson at 2. Or actually, ooh, that's a tricky one now. So if we did top 5 most talented, we're looking at Sewell 1, Swift 2, Hutchinson 3, St. Brown 4. Oh, God, that's a tough list now. Wow. That's a good thing. That's a good problem to have, Detroit. That's a good problem to have. Shout out to the Naked HDXYZ account here in the YouTube chat. These people don't stop. I got to respect the hustle at least. Like, they try. They try as if, like, anybody's actually going to click on that profile and be like, I wonder what's on YouTube right now.
You'd be surprised.
Let me help all of you out. There's this thing called private browsing. You're not going to find anything on YouTube if you really need it that badly, by the way. Just words of advice from a friend here. Let's see some comments in the chat. The team all around, if healthy, will be great to watch. And then with the proven depth from last season, good feeling. Cody, I do agree. Health is going to be a key part of this team. Jameson Williams will be in the conversation by season's end. You know what? I would love to see that. I think right now it's just too early. Obviously, he's coming off an injury. He'll miss the first, 3, 4, 5 games. We'll see if they rest him all the way up until the bye week. Goff is being put in a situation, and this is from Funky in the chat. Goff is being put in a situation where he has the chance to prove he is the guy. I'm not holding my breath. Funky, I agree, but I am also not holding my breath. I don't believe Goff is the guy. But what's the problem with that? I don't need him to be my franchise quarterback. He can be the Alex Smith of this team. What's the problem? Division winner, playoff winner. You wouldn't take that here in Detroit? In the next 2-3 years, if I told you won a division and a playoff game, and then Jared Goff walked out the door and you drafted your future quarterback, which one of you are complaining? I want to know who's complaining about that right now. I just want to know. You haven't won a division since 91. You haven't won a playoff game since 93, 94. How about we start baby steps, not making the wild card? How about you win your division? How about you prove you're one of the better teams in your division, in your conference? That tells me more about you than you just sneaking into the wild card. And just an FYI, Detroit Lions fans, you might be able to make a wild card push this year. Don't be surprised. The NFC sucks. And if you go 8-9, I would not be surprised for 1 minute if 8-9 was the number 7 seed this year. I know I'm getting 3 teams, possibly 2 minimum, coming out of the NFC West. I'm getting 1 out of the NFC South. In the North, I'm for sure getting 2, possibly 3. But then again, if it's going to come at the expense of a team, that means the NFC East is only getting 1 team in. So there's a lot of teams that are going to fight for a 7-10, 8-9, 9-8 record this year in the NFC. And I think the Lions are going to be part of that conversation. Whether they're 7-10 or whether they're 9-8, that will decide whether they're in the playoffs or not. But I think even 8-9 is enough. To me, as long as he is a high-efficiency bridge quarterback, I'll ride the train. I believe he can do that, Adam. Guy, I believe that as well. Jimmy G isn't a big enough upgrade over Goff for us to go after. I'm not sure who recommended or suggested Jimmy G, but they're basically the same quarterback, and I wouldn't recommend that at all. Let's see. Funky says, I'm not complaining about Goff being here right now. I just don't like him and never have. Funky, I think that's fair for you to say and a lot of the fan base to say. You don't have to like Jared Goff. Vikings fans don't like the fact that they have Kirk Cousins. They would much rather have Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, but they have Kirk Cousins. And you know what? Kirk Cousins is enough to win them a division title this year, in my opinion. So yeah, I think we're on the same page. You can show Goff the door in a few years and still be competitive if your coach is the right guy. And let's just call it what it is. This is a more talented team than it was 2 years ago. Whew. Judgment-free zone. I haven't called anybody an idiot yet today. I'm pretty proud of myself. And speaking of the judgment-free zone, Planet Fitness is the official studio sponsor of the Woodward Sports Network. Planet Fitness, your home of a judgment-free zone. Sign up today, $0 down, $10 a month. Your fitness is essential. Visit planetfitness.com or one of their many Metro Detroit locations and take your physical health seriously.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio. 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Our friends at Alta Equipment know that when it comes time to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. That's why Alta Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction. If you've got a big project coming up, Alta Rents has got you covered. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. Alta Equipment, where uptime matters.
Uptime definitely does matter, Maddie.
You know what also
expressed
matters?
your opinions to me multiple times. on this matter.
Downtime.
Downtime? I had a lot of downtime last night.
I
was alone to myself. I locked myself upstairs. I didn't let anybody bother me. Had a few drinks.
I broke my laptop.
That laptop?
Yeah.
You didn't break it. You want
How'd
me
you
to help
break
you
it?
fix it?
I can't get it to actually type. It's only using
Fish,
hotkeys.
can you help the
I asked to
mentally
help you, and
challenged
she said,
individual
sitting
I don't
down,
like
so-
help. You know this.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
I
well,
offered to
turn it
help her.
off.
No,
Turn it off.
It's not turn off. It's how the screen is put on the thing.
No,
Turn
it's
on.
the hotkeys. They're all. It's not typing.
It has nothing to do with the computer itself. I will help her if she wants help, but I can just stand here and watch her struggle. It's kind of I feel really bad though. Like just watching her struggle. Like my heart's breaking in a million pieces just watching her struggle to get this laptop put up. It's really sad.
Okay,
but she
Fish,
didn't want
fine.
help,
You can
so-
come and do it.
I
Fish,
mean,
go
I don't have to help you
go,
if you
shut
don't
the
want
hell
it.
up. Just go help the mentally challenged lady, all right?
Hey,
Sorry,
there's
Maddie.
nothing wrong with my mental.
There's nothing wrong with my mental. Fish, it's too late. You already showed up in the camera, buddy.
He tried to spy kids over here.
You weren't hiding. Everybody saw you. Oh, my God. All right. It's 8:30. I want to get into Jim Harbaugh. But before I do, yesterday on the Bottom Line, or was it Big D Energy? I believe it was Big D Energy or Bottom Line.
I don't know what you're
regarding
talking about. You haven't
the Tom Brady
finished.
situation.
I think
It was on
Bot-
BDE. It was on Big D Energy. So yesterday they were talking
You were on Big D Energy yesterday.
for the first hour.
Oh.
And then I switched with Stick.
I was like, how do you not know what you talked about?
Maddie, shut. Anyways. So Stick and Neil made a good point yesterday. I'm not going to come to their defense, though, because there was a few things that were just wrong about what they said. Tom Brady played at Michigan. He started 2 full seasons there, and if I remember correctly, he won an Orange Bowl. He was appreciated by Michigan fans. Having said that, I think the beef that people like Stick, Neil, and a lot of people have is this idea that coming out of college, going into the NFL draft, before he was a 6th-round pick, nobody was clamoring over Tom Brady. And obviously every team in that draft regretted it. But the truth is nobody was clamoring for Tom Brady. Oh, this is the next guy. This is the guy going into the NFL draft. You have to have this guy. No, that's just hype, and it's irrelevant, especially to Tom Brady's career. But I guess their issue is, oh, well, Michigan claims Tom Brady. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't Michigan claim Tom Brady? Does North Carolina not claim Michael Jordan? Somebody. Oh, didn't they win a national championship with Michael Jordan? And he only played 1 year? So since when does tenure matter? UNC claims Michael Jordan. That's one of their best recruiting pitches. What's the problem with a fan base claiming a quarterback who was successful at their program and hyper successful, the greatest quarterback ever in NFL history? How is that a problem? I really want to know. Well, Adham, he only played 2 years. Really? So? He was the better quarterback. He just was. Over time, it was proven that that was the correct decision. And who knows? Maybe with the situation you have now, Cade McNamara is the next Tom Brady. The hell if I know. I doubt it. I doubt it. But let's not forget what Tom Brady did at Michigan. All the comeback wins. all the exquisite fourth quarter drives. He was a leader on the field. That was the biggest trait he had. He was a leader. He was more than just a game managing quarterback. But it's fine. I get it. People don't want to allow Michigan fans to claim their quarterback. That's fine. I think that's stupid. I really think it's stupid. Having said that, we got to talk Michigan football. Jim Harbaugh says he is very adamant on his NIL policy. Quote, "We are not going to pay for recruits." And you know, somebody had an interesting quote on this a few days ago. It's actually Jared Goff. He was doing the Adham Brenneman podcast. And Jared Goff said, "I don't think you should pay players until they've played at least 5 games, right? Because you're paying these kids to come to your college. Some of them never even see the field. So if you really put it together, you're essentially paying for play. And that's not what NIL was initially brought in for. And again, like Harbaugh said, we are not going to pay for recruits. When they get here, they will be more than fine. Meaning, when the players do show up and they prove themselves or they make the team, they will receive benefits. But we, the University of Michigan, will not do, quote unquote, what Ohio State did, which is request $13 million to keep this team together, right? That was the projected cost, not in my mouth, Ryan Day. I think that's not a good look for college football, but you look at Texas A&M, they're doing something very similar, and this is what we've opened it up to. So until you come with relegations, formats, rules, and understanding so everybody understands this is how you can recruit, we're going to continue to have this stupid conversation. But if I'm Michigan, I'm just saying, continue to recruit how you are. If you can win 11 games this year and possibly another Big Ten title, I think you are going to kill Ohio State's recruiting trail. Not forever, but I think you're going to put a dent in Ryan Day's ability to recruit over Jim Harbaugh. How are you going to do that when your team is significantly less talented than Ohio State's? Michigan was a better team than Ohio State last year. Ohio State offensively more gifted, but you had Ajabo and Hutchinson. You had Dax Hill. You had 3 first-round picks in the NFL draft on your defense. You can handle it. This year, you don't. This year, you don't. How are you going to beat Ohio State? I think you need to go toe-to-toe on offense. We don't need to get into this J.J. McCarthy, Cade McNamara thing. But when it comes to recruiting, if you aren't going to win and succeed like you did last year, this year, I'm not sure why, as a recruit, would look at Michigan and say, outside of family ties, why would I go to Michigan as a wide receiver when I could go play with one of the best quarterbacks in the country every other year at Ohio State or Alabama or Clemson or Georgia? Why? Did you fix it, Fish?
I think so. Hope so.
Can we get confirmation?
Well, let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
Well, hello. Let's see.
Anything?
The moment of truth.
Fish, if you didn't fix it, you're fired.
I had the mouse going on the pad, so...
Well, I'm waiting.
Oh, we have letters.
We have letters?
We have letters.
All right, everybody in the chat, round of applause for
Yeah.
Samuel Fisher. Can we get the camera on Fish? Shout out to Fish.
True hero.
The true hero. Fish, fix your camera.
Oh, all right, I will.
Jackass.
Well, no one told me it was broken.
Well, we just found out. Oh, God, Fish, one of these days I'm going to kill you, buddy. It's all good. Still
Now I
love
can
you.
chat with my friends.
I hate this new college football, says Eminem in the chat, but Michigan have to get with the times if they want to be competitive. They'll get passed by Michigan State and Ohio State. I think they've been passed by Ohio State. What saved Michigan actually is Jim Harbaugh and his ability to recruit. I do agree about the Michigan State statement. I think State in a few years will be pulling 5-star recruits, not just 4-stars. But that will come with time and success from Mel Tucker. If he wins a Big Ten title in the next 3 seasons, watch out for Michigan State to start recruiting at an elite level. So that would be my warning to Michigan. Don't get complacent. And remember, Jim Harbaugh, has done a good damn job in his tenure at Michigan. And you can even say it before the Big Ten title.
A good damn job?
A damn good job, excuse me. I was reading the goddamn board.
What board?
Like subconsciously, I was reading that little whiteboard over there. So
It
it threw me
says
off.
Gypsy and Bedrock?
Yeah, it threw me off.
Okay.
Since when have you read that board in your life?
Since when don't you look at a logo and read it? Shut the hell up, Fish. Maddie, shut up. Killing me here.
Good luck with that.
Oh, man. Fish proves that Elmer Fudd bloodline is strong. Who's Elmer Fudd?
Are you serious? Did you watch any cartoons as a kid?
No, you know that. He didn't watch anything. He doesn't know anything, didn't watch anything. He
Elmer
lived
Fudd.
overseas for half his life.
That's Elmer Fudd, the dude with the shotgun?
Yes.
Who kills Bugs Bunny? Oh, that's my
Yes.
guy. I didn't know that's what.
Of
I didn't know
course
that's
you
what he looked
say
like.
that.
Or I didn't know that was his name.
How is he your guy and you don't know his name?
Because I remember what he looks like.
He has a good point.
He does have a good point. How do you know these cartoons' names? I don't
How do you
remember.
watch him? How do you know? We watch him as a kid because
All right,
we're
chill out.
human.
Actually, I can't say too much because who did I say was Woodstock like last week?
You mean Linus?
Yeah, I mixed up.
Tweety Bird?
Yeah. I had a Tweety Bird room growing up, and then I found out Tweety Bird was a boy.
This is Stephen Westbrook in chat. Adam, are you kidding me? I wish I was. God damn it.
Like, have you seen SpongeBob as a kid?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good.
What do you
Like,
mean,
we're
of
pretty much
course?
the same age, and I feel like I'm way older than you.
I've spent my life under a rock working.
Well, you were overseas for part of the time, so I can give you some credit,
So,
but not all of it.
Yeah, so I
Not
spent
all
some
of
time
it.
overseas, people.
Not all of it, though.
All right, we got to go to break.
You
When
still
we get
should
back,
know who Charlie Brown is in the Peanuts and those movies.
shove
and
the
shows.
peanuts up your ass, Fish. When we get back, for the season to be a success, the Detroit Lions must. We'll get to that in a few minutes. And of course, at 9 o'clock, our first official NBA mock draft will be released. Jeff Iafrate joining the show to release it with us as well. I'm excited. Should be fun. But before we go, Maddie, I got to tell everybody at home about the official drink of the summer. That is the Mulligan. Brought to you by Gypsy Vodka. 8% alcohol, iced tea, lemonade mixed with Gypsy Vodka. The Mulligan, whether you're on the golf course or in the backyard, or you were like me last night in your bed drinking, the Mulligan is the right choice. Drink responsibly as always, and remember, let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the bottom line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Well, it's a little hot outside today, so you're going to get your tan on if you step outside. But if you don't have time to lay out in the sun, head on over to Chili Peppers Tanning. That's where you find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals on unlimited tanning. They'll even beat your competitors by $5. Chili Peppers, they have the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans.
God bless you, Fish. God bless you. We're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. This is a new perspective, a new approach to try and summarize how we can take advantage of the Detroit. Maddie, shut the hell up and walk away. Go, leave. Leave. Look at her. Look at her. Can we get the camera on her chair? Look at this. Sleeping on the job. Leaves. Walks out. Probably went to get a coffee. Spoiled people here. Spoiled people. Anyways. Get your ass back in the audio booth, Fish. For the season to be a success, the Detroit Lions must. And I'd like for all of you to finish that sentence in the chat. And I'll go over it and I'll tell you my reasons, of course, but I would like to know, for this season to be a success, the Detroit Lions must do what? In my opinion, forget the win total just for a minute, because everything I'm about to tell you will allow you to win the amount of games you want to win. For this season to become a success, or for this season to be a success, there are 5 contributing factors that I believe you cannot afford to miss on this season if you want that success. I believe they're all equally important, and I believe without one of the 5, this season will not be as successful as you'd imagine. Number 1, Dan Campbell has to be a legitimate head coach. Dan Campbell needs to be a good coach in this league, and he needs to prove it this year. Number 2, the Lions must be healthy. Health is very important. Health has absolutely crushed this team over the last 2 years. Not removing them from contention, but just hindering the growth of some of their players. You can even point to Jeff Okudah, who I am not happy with at the moment, for obvious reasons. But, to be fair to Jeff Okudah, he has been injured. Fine. Be healthy this year. Show me what you can do when you're healthy and on the field. That's what everybody would want to see. Same out of Hawkinson. Same out of Swift. So for this season to be healthy, a success, they must be healthy. Those are 2 factors so far, Dan Campbell and health. Number 3, Jared Goff has to stop seeing ghosts. Jared Goff needs to stop the fumbles, the interceptions, and play like he did down the stretch, which is what I believe his true nature is a comfortable, capable, play-action quarterback who thrives in a team and an offense that is able to run the football like I believe the Lions will be able to this year. That is the 3rd key. The 4th, the Lions must finish top 18 in pass rush. Quarterback pressures, sacks, hits. The Lions must take an astronomical leap forward in terms of the pass rush. Charles Harris, Josh Pascal, Aiden Hutchinson, Aquara. You are going to have depth on the edges, and your interior linemen are also going to improve McNeil and Onwuzurike. You are going to see improvement. And ideally, that pass rush is at least 19th, 18th, 17th in the league. And if that is the case, you will be very happy moving forward, Detroit. Because they're not going to be a top 10 pass rush this year or next year. But they could be in 2-3 years from now, for sure. Especially with the potential they have on that line. So that's the 4th reason. So now just to recap before I give you the final reason. Dan Campbell must be a good head coach. Right? Team needs to be healthy. Jared Goff needs to play at the level we all expect him to play at, which is above average play. And then, of course, your pass rush needs to finish in the top 18. The final aspect, the final reason the season will be a success is because Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams account for 2,200 yards receiving combined. That I believe would be the absolute smoke in the gun. I mean, you're talking the best case scenario. You're looking at St. Brown, 97 to 103 catches, 1,140 yards, given he's not really a big play guy. And then you look at Jameson Williams, 70 to 80 catches, 1,100 yards. But how many games is he going to play? I think that's going to also be a big part. If he comes in after game 2, game 3, and he gets a 14-game schedule, I would be confident in saying he'd get over 1,000 yards. And I think this offense, again, you're looking at 1,000 minimum from St. Brown. You're looking at realistically 400 to 600 for Josh Reynolds, 500 to 800 from Hawkinson, given their previous history. Swift another 3, 4, 500 out of the backfield. Goff is going to be able to throw for 4,000 yards is basically what I'm telling you. 2,200 yards. I don't think you guys are doing the math correctly. It's not impossible. I'm asking a receiver who caught, 93 balls last year? 90 balls? Who's probably going to catch 100 this year, just on projections. If he averages 12 yards a catch, that's 1,200 yards just for St. Brown. And if Jameson Williams, who's a deep play threat, who will probably average somewhere near 15, 17, 18 yards a catch, given his model, will likely get another 1,000 yards on 60 to 70 catches. Correct me if I'm doing that math wrong. 60 times what? 16 and a half? Let's see what the number is.
You're the math guy in this room, remember?
Is it?
I don't know.
990 yards. Damn, I'm good. 60 catches at 16 and a half yards a catch is 990 yards. 2,200 isn't impossible.
You're so good.
Shut up, Maddie.
No.
You're not good at complimenting people.
I'm actually very good at complimenting people.
Word affirmation. That's all you tell me every day.
That's so not true. I'm trying to teach you people's love languages so that you don't treat them like a piece of crap. The way you speak to people matters.
It does.
The way I speak to people is how I avoid getting in a car at midnight and listening out and hearing someone out.
I need you to shut the fuck up right now. Listen.
All right.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Good morning, Maddie. Hope you're having a great morning.
Thanks for swearing. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
She swore, not me, buddy.
I know.
Just so you know.
Oh, I know.
Just so you know.
But you
you
swore
think
before,
Jameson
so.
Williams will get 1,000 yards in 10 games as a rookie? There's a 17-game schedule. If he misses the first 5, he plays 12. If he averages 5 catches a game, that's 60 catches. If he goes at the rate I think he is, which is about 16 and a half yards a catch, that's 990 yards. Yes, I do think it's possible for him as a rookie. 5 catches a game at 16 and a half yards a clip. That gets you 1,000 yards in 12 games. Just so you know. Unbelievable. Those numbers are all great, but can Goff distribute the ball to all of them? Absolutely he can. Jared Goff comes from a system and a foundation and a way of thinking where there is no number one. When Goff was in the Super Bowl with Brandon Cooks, yes, Gurley was the featured option. These people are back again. Jesus Christ. They don't quit.
Tinder's overpriced. Did you know that?
Tinder overpriced. I hope you guys are enjoying the chat as much as we are. That's unbelievable. Oh, God.
Isn't Tinder free?
Tinder? No, it is free, but I think like you pay to get like premium hit.
What does premium get you?
I don't know.
What does premium get you?
Does it get you like the hotter individuals?
Well, back when I used Tinder, 2012 you're talking, 13. Like it was all free.
I never had any.
Yeah, I know, Maddie. You're what is it? What do they call it? You're a Jehovah's Witness. We forgot. Excuse us. Sorry to insult you this morning. I never used Tinder. Excuse me.
I was
you go to
married
church
at, like,
on Sunday.
age 12,
I apologize.
So...
6
what do you
minutes.
want from me?
6 minutes away. First mock draft. I'm ready for this. I am very excited. I'm looking forward to
Jeff's
this.
not excited. I just went back there to hype him up, and he was like, "Yeah, whatever."
You know how I can tell when you're lying?
I started
When you're
laughing.
not smiling. No, when you're not smiling and you're talking to me. When you like try to be serious, like I went back there and Jeff said that he's not excited to talk to you. Like that's your tell, by the way. If you're bubbly and oh my God, Adam, I went back there. Jeff's not happy. What are we gonna do?
You know
maybe
me.
I
I'm a terrible liar. I can't do it. So
I know.
Can we help you lie?
What was the last time I tried to lie? Oh, when we tried.
Yeah, the Sam
Fired
Flannel thing.
Sam.
Yeah.
I did pretty good though.
That was pretty good. I'll
You're
give
gonna
her
need to be a great
praise.
liar today.
You're gonna say too much.
I love me.
I don't.
I know.
I'm glad at least
I don't
you
blame
love
you guys. I don't blame you guys. I'm an awful human being. Anyways, to wrap up.
It's okay. Just so you know, Words of affirmation isn't your love language. So.
Oh, I know. The truth is.
You have I've taught you nothing. I give up. You're
Anyways.
lost.
Remember, he has selective listening.
Anyways, I do want to read some of the chat's answers for the season to be a success. The Detroit Lions must. We'll go to... Who's the first person? They must show Jesse Adams. They must show improvement on the defensive side of the ball, and Motor City Dan Campbell must trust his OC and DC. I would also say stay healthy, and they should win 8 games. I think if they do all that, they probably win more than 8. Again, with the schedule you have, you should be an 8-9 team at worst. I'm willing to accept 7-10, but that would still make me question Dan Campbell going into year 3. Like, do you actually have that guy in the building? I think Dan this year can really go a long way, not only with the fan base, but as a coach, and say, hey, I'm not just rah, crazy funny. And it's actually interesting because I think Dan has improved so much as a communicator from this time last year. Just go back to last season. June 21st, go find me what Dan Campbell was doing. Go find what he was saying in the media next. Not to absolve him from everything, but as someone who was super hard on him back in the offseason of last season, I think he was overwhelmed and was trying to communicate his way out of it. And I don't think he understood that he was just digging himself a hole a little bit, and that you can't say all that, especially before a season starts, and then you start at 0-9. And then his communication really shifted midway into the season. Like, he became... Let's just call it what it is. He matured. Dan Campbell matured midseason, removed Anthony Lynn, took over play calling, communicated much more stern and direct. And then you saw the win over Minnesota, and then the win over Arizona, and then they finished the season against Green Bay. And that was a guy I could look at and say, that's a communicator. And then right before the season starts, right after the draft even, all of his press conferences, I have to give him credit. He is developing into one of the better communicators at his position in the NFL. And communication matters when you're the head coach of a football team. So I like what I'm seeing right now. I do like what I'm seeing. For me, a successful season is the Lions don't get blown out in any one specific game. Funky, I would agree. I don't think this team is capable of getting beat like that given the way they're going to play. They're going to be a pain in the ass to play against. They're going to control the clock with the offensive line that they have. And the defense, I think, will be a lot better than last year. Let's see. Expectations for Levi this year. I'll get back to you on that. If Goff could be Eli Manning and deliver a Super Bowl or 2, would you take it? Christian, if I told you could win the Mega Millions, would you take it? Huh? Would I take a Super Bowl or 2? The fuck kind of question is that, Christian? Would you take the Mega Millions? If I told you, yeah, today it's yours. Have it. Of course. What are you doing? Of course you take 2 Super Bowls. What are you... Wow, my head. We got to go to break. When we get back, NBA Mock Draft 1.0, our official first release. I'm excited to share it with all of you. But before we do, Maddie, could you tell everybody at home about our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency?
Yes, I can. Our friends at the Sports Marketing Agency help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know someone who is, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Sweet. Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Well, if you're looking for something fun to do, the Fulling Warehouse is open tonight, and it's open, I don't know what time, but check it out at thefullingwarehouse.com. There's 2 ways to play. They have $12 open unlimited play, or you can reserve a private lane for just $120. Don't forget, of course, they have a $2 mystery beer machine as well as multiple full bars. So check it out at thefullingwarehouse.com.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Jeff, Iafrate, you joining us from
Top of the hour. Brought to you
hour.
by Bedrock Detroit.
Of course. Jeff, this is our first official mock draft release.
Yes.
I don't think you're ready for this.
I'm ready. It's draft week.
So
baby.
the Orlando Magic select number 1 overall. They have a big decision to make, right? Jabari Smith, Chet Holmgren. I don't think anybody's really considering Paolo at 1, but whatever. Jalen Suggs is their guard.
Yep.
Gonzaga.
High school basketball with Chet as well.
And when I look at the Magic, does anybody see them turning into contenders in the next 4 to 5 years? That's probably when they start at least becoming a good damn team, right?
Yeah.
I think the Magic are in no position to pass on Chet Holmgren. I think they have the best situation for him because I believe he needs 2-3 years just to develop into his body.
Right.
And then maybe he can take over the league. He's got the ball skills. He can dribble. He can pull up from 3, hit the free throw. He's a great shot blocker.
Yeah.
Almost 4 blocks a game in college. I think Chet Holmgren has to be the pick for the Orlando Magic. Having said that, the Orlando Magic in my first mock draft take Jabari Smith number 1 overall.
Look at you. You set me up all to go to Jabari. And I would agree with you. I think a guy like Chet, the upside, certainly, I think I would argue out of all 3, he has the highest upside. But again, like, if you're a general manager, you're taking that risk. And again, it might pay off in the end. But Chet to Orlando, I like it. I think Oklahoma would be the best fit for him at 2 just because they have 2 playmaking guards that will be able to make him better. But I agree with everything you said with Orlando Magic. I mean, they're not really on a timeline yet. I mean, they have young talent. Chet would blend in. He wouldn't be asked to do a lot right away. But again, Jabari Smith, I think his versatility, man, is too good to pass up. And I've talked about this. Jabari's my guy. I did so much research thinking the Pistons would have a top 3 pick. And so Jabari was the guy, man. So no fault in that. I think his versatility, his shooting, you just can't pass up on that, especially in today's NBA. I mean, you got to think of it too. And someone, I talked about this to somebody the other day. Do you think Chet Holmgren would play in the finals this year against Boston in the Warriors? Like, where would he play? Small ball lineup. Jabari Smith would play.
Yep.
But for a guy like Chet with small ball, I agree with you. I think Jabari's number 1.
Well, I talked to you about the Magic having the best timeline to fit Chet Holmgren. I think the team picking next is the best situation for him, at least organizationally. Sam Presti and the Oklahoma City Thunder select Chet Holmgren number 2 overall. I think that is a guy. Look, they know they're not winning anytime soon.
Right.
Right. They still need so many pieces, and I think they're willing to maybe even sit. I wouldn't say sit, but be cautious with Chet his first year in the league. Make sure he's not getting injured. Keep him healthy. Play him about 55, 60 games.
Mm-hmm.
Let him build body mass, muscle, and when he's ready, let him loose. And I think that's a 2 to 3 year process for Chet. And if you don't like the Chet example with KD, I respect that. I think he's got all the skills. But if we're going to compare Chet to somebody, at least in transformation and how they're going to grow, just look at Giannis coming into the league. That's your best case scenario. Not that you want him to play like Giannis, but can you build your body? Giannis is the example of yes, you can if you take it seriously. So I believe Chet can do that in Oklahoma City. Number 3, I think this is an easy one. I don't really need to waste much time. Paolo Banchero.
Yep.
Houston Rockets forward.
Yeah, this is
the obvious pick.
Yeah, and this is a guy also, if I had to bank on one of these guys being an all-star, it's Paolo Banchero. I think he has that potential, certainly. I think Houston, pairing him with Jalen Green. I mean, we crapped on Jalen Green last year as Pistons fans for those comments, but again, you can't deny the talent. Jalen Green's a talented player, and you're adding another guy who can become a superstar in Paolo Banchero. So if you're a Houston Rockets fan, which I'm assuming everybody watching is not, they're going to be happy. Paolo Banchero is that guy. I mean, if he went and won, I wouldn't be surprised.
I do agree. He's a guy that shot up the board, especially down the stretch, played pretty well in the NCAA tournament. He's a good player, good forward. You pair him with Jalen Green. The Rockets have an interesting rebuild. I mean, these teams are picking in the top 5 for a reason. They suck.
Talent. They need talent.
They just need talent. And I think the first 3 teams, I'd be happy if I was their fan base with the picks. I don't mind Orlando passing on Chet. If I'm the GM, though, that's a unicorn to me.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to miss on a unicorn, so be it. But damn it, I'm going to try. At least that's my perspective on the Chet side of things. But now we get into the real talk, right? Pistons pick at 5, Sacramento at 4. Sacramento has put themselves in a very awkward situation. It is reported they want Keegan Murray, and they will do anything to get him, but they don't want him at 4, but they're afraid they won't get him at 6 or 7.
It's tricky.
So, in this version of the mock draft, there are no trades. Sacramento takes Keegan Murray number 4 overall. I think they stick to their guns. The Pistons aren't going to be stupid enough to trade up. I don't believe the Pacers are going to want to give up any of the capital they acquired from Sacramento in the trade to trade up. So watch out. I would say watch out for Keegan Murray as a lock at 4, and I do think it's a reach, and I wouldn't have taken him. But Sacramento, again, they're pinning themselves on a win now mentality. Sabonis, Fox, Mitchell. All right, well, insert Keegan Murray. He's a good damn player. Could be a very good role player in the NBA. I don't think he's a star, though.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. I think Keegan is an interesting spot because if you look at the Kings, a lot of teams are going to be calling the Kings, including the Knicks. But again, what do they have to offer? The Pistons have been inquiring about it, Troy Weaver. But again, at 4, a part of me believes it will be Keegan Murray. That's who the Kings like. They even took him out to dinner with De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. He makes the most sense. Another guy you could plug in right away is going to be ready to contribute right away. He can shoot. He's going to be great in transition. He'll be able to play off De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis, both of their playmaking abilities. I like it. If I'm going talent, it's Jaden Ivey at 4, but I just don't like the fit. If a team were to trade up and take that number 4 pick from Sacramento, it's got to be Jaden Ivey, which would put the Pistons in a tricky situation. But if we're doing no trades, give me Keegan Murray.
Yeah, it's Keegan Murray. The Kings, I don't think they're going to waste time getting their guy. And that gets us to the Pistons. Shaedon Sharpe's available. Benedict Mathurin is available. And, of course, my favorite player on the board that could ever fall to the Pistons is Jaden Ivey. Pistons take Jaden Ivey.
I would agree,
and
too.
I think he's a home run pick. 18 points a game at Purdue. Super talented kid. I believe on the board has the second. Depends on who you ask. I believe the second or even the highest ceiling of anybody on the board. Yes, including Mathurin. Yes, including Sharpe. I think Jaden Ivey is just that damn good, Jeff. He's the pick if I'm the Pistons at 5.
Absolutely. He's the best guard in the draft, number 1, best point guard. But more than that, if you're a guy who, like me, wants upside, he checks those boxes, and you have tape. Like, I love Shaedon Sharpe. That's a guy that, I've been watching so much high school film on. But again, I'm obsessed with what he can be. But being realistically, I mean, we have to be realistic. It's Jaden Ivey. Like, the upside, that's a guy who's worked out for only 2 teams, Orlando and Detroit. Like, if he's not, basically, if Jaden Ivey's saying, if I'm not going number 1, I want to come to Detroit, and that picture came out, his mom posted in 2016, that him at a Pistons game, meeting Steph Curry, dripped out in Pistons gear. This is a guy who wants to be here. So, again, I don't question the fit. You're going to have a guy on the court with Cade Cunningham, even without Cade's on the bench. You have a guy in the game that can make plays for others and just create offense and be dynamic. So I think he's going to get even better with NBA spacing, something he didn't have at Purdue. And again, like, this is a guy that I'm very high on. He's even though I've always been talking Shaedon Sharpe up, Jaden Ivey's always been right there. And if we're talking realistically, Troy Weaver's press conference yesterday, although he didn't give any realistic hints out during that press conference, he did mention one thing, is he wants guys that want to be in Detroit, and Jaden Ivey checks those boxes. So give me Jaden Ivey at 5.
I agree 100% with every goddamn thing you said. God, I miss having you up here. What a
He just tried distracting me a little bit. Yeah,
you're a goddamn pro now. I can't even throw you off your game. I love it. I agree. Look, Ivey's the best guard available to you right now. That's the guy. And like you said, best guard in the draft. I agree. Is this the best case scenario for the Pistons? Yes, it is. But I don't see Sacramento being able to trade out. I'm not sure why a team would want to trade up unless they just really want Ivey, which I don't blame them, by the way.
Right.
And if I'm the Pistons, I do have to consider that. And if I am the Pistons, and you told me we have to dump Grant and 5, that's a tough pill for me to swallow. Does it secure me Ivy? I'd be willing to take that risk. I don't think the Pistons need to do that, though.
Right. And I think another
Grant
thing,
is worth a lottery pick.
He is.
So
he is, certainly.
If the Kings want him, I think that can be a clean swap with a player and then maybe a future protected pick. I'm not sure how that trade would work. I'm really not even interested in it. I think the Pistons need to stick to their guns at 5 unless they get a steal of a deal and they can move up to 4.
And I think one thing to add too, and this is a plus for the Pistons if he's there at 5. Among many scouts, believe he could be the best player in the draft. Period. I believe he's the best point guard coming in. But besides that point, having a guy who has that type of upside, you're getting value at 5. Like we talk about, there's the Keegan Murray lovers, there's the Benedict Mathurin lovers, and I like both those players. But to me, if you're drafting upside, if you're drafting, in terms of I get fit, Benedict Mathurin might be a better fit. I think Jaden Ivey's could be the best player. So if you're drafting upside, he checks all those boxes, and that's a guy who wants to play here. And you don't really hear that much.
I love it.
Out of young guys that say, I want to come to Detroit. Aiden Hutchinson this year for the Lions did that.
I think Cade Cunningham plays a big factor in that. But
absolutely.
Yes, it is a good look. I think the Pistons should do whatever it takes, though, at the end of the day, to land Jaden Ivey. If you can't sneak into the top 3, I don't care what you have to do. Secure Jaden Ivey. That is the absolute
Go get
pick.
your guy.
Go get your guy. Number 6 overall, Indiana Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tricky one, right? So the Pacers have Halliburton.
They do.
And how, to this day, I'm still not sure. What the Kings were thinking, I don't know. But they have Halliburton. And they're in a tough situation at 6. But for everything that Shaedon Sharpe is, I would say you pass on him and go Benedict Mathurin and go for the high ceiling forward. You have a guard. You have a ball handling guard in Halliburton. Yes, Sharpe is nice. He's also a mystery. I think you go Benedict Mathurin out of Arizona if you're Indiana, and I think Indiana Pacers fans would be very happy. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right about that. Another point, I can make an argument Shaedon Sharpe could be the selection. Number 1 being Malcolm Brogdon, Tyrese Halliburton. He's going to have time. He can sit behind those guys. The Pacers aren't in a win-now mode. So if you bring in, a Shaedon Sharpe, you can groom him and get better. And if you do want to move on from Malcolm Brogdon and you want Tyrese as your starting point guard, Shaedon can slide right into that 2 spot. So for me, I agree. I think Benedict Mathurin, just his versatility, like he could play multiple positions, and his shooting ability. I mean, he could play off ball, especially with the guards they have with Indiana. That's a great fit. But like I said, don't be surprised if the Pacers, if this is where Shaedon Sharpe comes off the board.
Yeah, I could totally see Sharpe going at 6. I would. Again, he's a boom or bust guy.
Yeah,
he just is. He's got so much unknown about him. I wouldn't touch him if I'm the Pistons at 5. I think Ivey's the pick. If Ivey's gone at 4 to the Kings, do you draft Murray at 5 and try to swap? Similar to what the Kings and the Hawks, the Mavericks and the Hawks did a few years ago?
It's interesting. You'd have to sell the Kings on, you're getting an even swap, because that's what Dallas did to get Luka. Atlanta believed, listen, we're getting Trae Young, you're getting Luka, we're getting 2 dynamic players. Now, if you go back, Atlanta will say they're happy, but Luka Doncic is the better player. We can all acknowledge this. So I think that's going to be a stretch. But I think personally, if Ivey's gone and the Pistons are sitting there at 5 and they don't make a move, it's got to be Benedict Mathurin to me. And I get Keegan Murray. If you look at a prototypical player, that's Troy Weaver's type of guy. 6'8", can guard, the versatility, a guy who's mature, has the right mindset. He fits all those boxes. But Benedict Mathurin to me has higher upside. And again, he could play off ball. That's the best fit to me next to Cade Cunningham. So it's going to be. That's why I'm so excited for Thursday, because these draft day trades, it's going to be interesting. Because if a guy like Jaden Ivey's just sitting there at 4. People are going to be calling, no doubt about it. So,
well, Sharpe's available at 7 for the Portland Trailblazers. Tricky.
It is tricky.
Tricky. If I'm Portland, I'm trying to trade out. Whether it's Grant, I'm not sure what the Suns deal looks like for Grant. I'm not sure yet what the Pistons are even thinking. They have to trade him. If they get pick 7, AJ Griffin's on the board.
Yep.
Johnny Davis is on the board. Shaden Sharp's on the board. Benedict Matherin's off the board at 7. Why would the Pistons make this deal?
It's a tough scenario.
You have Kate. You just drafted Ivy.
Yep.
You have Killian, Sadiq, Livers. She's going to put a lineup of guards.
And not just that, if you trade Jeremy and get the 7th pick.
So that would make sense to me. I would trade pick 7 for Bradley Beal, or at least attempt to. Whether Washington would do it or not is beyond me, and how the money would work. That's a whole different problem and a conversation that we need to have.
If I'm Portland and you're in a situation where you're sitting at 7, number one, I'm fielding offers because I'm not taking Shaden Sharp. I don't have the time. I have Damian Lillard. I'm on a time crunch for him. I'm trying to sell him to stay in Portland. So you want to trade it. And let's say the Pistons do acquire at 7. I like Jalen Duren. I mean, that's a guy who, if you're on the board, I think he's among. I mean, you need shot blocking. You need size on the Pistons. So Jalen Duren fits the mold for me, though. But if I'm Portland, I wouldn't count out Dyson Daniels. I mean, this is a guy who, again, defensively can bring everything you want next to Damian Lillard. He's another playmaker. He's got the size, and he just makes sense. But again, who knows? I think Portland's in a tricky spot because you're hearing the rumors with John Collins, with Atlanta being offered for that 7th pick. If I'm Portland, I'm calling because I need to make a deal. I can't have a rookie come in and look at Dame and be like, "See, look what I got you." A rookie.
I do agree. There is another element to this. Guys, what's the NBA today? It's backcourt, frontcourt. Maybe if you're a team, you have a frontcourt player like, I don't know, Jokic, Embiid, and you're lucky. Sadiq Bey, he's a small forward, Adam. He's a goddamn guard. And he plays like one. You can classify him as a forward, be my guest. At the end of the day, there are no more positions in today's game. It's just how it is. You don't have a traditional point shooting small forward, power forward, center anymore.
Right.
You have 2 guards. You have a 3 that can play like a 1 and a 2, and you have a 4
who can play like
that
a 3.
can play like a 3. That's today's NBA, guys.
Yeah.
So yes, Sadiq Bey last year, 16, 5, and 3.
Yeah.
He's a scorer. He is. He's not your traditional 3 scorer, though. He scores more like a guard than he does like a forward.
Yeah, on the perimeter. Yeah.
So I would be cautious with that, Detroit Pistons fans. Jeff, thank you so much. That was fun, man.
I appreciate you.
That was fun. We might have to do another one tomorrow and Wednesday.
Let's do it.
I'm digging these. I'm digging the NBA
Today's
mock draft.
Tuesday, ding dong.
Yeah, today, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Got you ding dong.
Fish, shut
You
the
gonna
fuck
take
up.
that?
Fish, leave.
I'd love to. Can I go home?
No, you can't go home.
No, you
Just go
can't.
sit in the corner and cry. We got to go to break when we get back.
How do you know that's what I do every night I go to
actually love
bed?
Fish,
Sorry,
by the
buddy.
way. We love Fish.
I love you, buddy.
I do that every night, so that makes sense.
Yeah, Fish called me last night at like 2 a.m. crying. I let him vent to me.
Don't try to be
I
me
let him
now.
vent to me, and then I Snapchatted someone I know, like, oh my God, that was awful. We got to go to break.
I'm going to kill you.
When we get back, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men.
What a transition.
When we get back, Lady Jane's. How about you be better at your job? Thanks.
I mean, we've talked to him about that for 7 months, so.
Damn. Damn, Fish.
Got him!
Got him. Oh, God. When we get back, the Avalanche and the Lightning played last night. It was a great game. Lightning came back 6-2.
They did.
Series is now 2-1 Avalanche. Will the Lightning actually make a series out of this? That'll be interesting. We'll get to that in a bit. But before we do, I got to tell you about where me and Jeff get our haircuts done. This hair doesn't grow on a tree. It happens at the studios and the stylists that work at Lady Jane's. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10-8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. Their awesome stylists will take care of you like they take care of myself, Jeff, and even Alex Westfall. So get to Lady Jane's as soon as you can. Again, no appointment necessary. And remember, Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brady Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
OddsTrader.com is the #1 site for all of your game day bets. Head on over to their website for the best price on every game and sign-up offers from multiple sports books. Don't forget, of course, they also have player statistics and key game stats right there on their website. And you can also download their app today for play-by-play updates, live scores, and bet tracking. So head on over to OddsTrader.com.
Fish, I just want you to know, I enjoy the hell out of it when he gets super angry.
Who, me?
I love it.
You like to rile people up.
I do.
That's like...
It's my nature.
Well, you don't really do a good job of it for me. So.
What is it?
You don't do a good job of it, yeah.
I don't do a good job?
Well, you try to get me angry. No, not really. It's more funny than anything. When you say I cry in the corner.
Kill the vibe. Can't just say,
How
yeah,
is that
it was
kill-
fun. You know, yeah, you get me going sometimes.
Wow, you can like make that the new song lyric. Fish don't kill my vibe.
We should make a remix, honestly. Shoot a music video. I'll get all the interns in the back to dress up like hookers.
They would do it willingly.
100%. All right, Stanley Cup Finals. I do want to touch on it just for a little bit. Avalanche lose 6-2 to the Lightning. Lightning stormed back. They fought well. I thought they were more physical. They looked like a more experienced team. Vasilevsky had some saves that...
He did.
If you're the Avalanche and he's going to play like that, that's a problem. You've been able to figure him out, and not figure him out, but you're just so high-powered and potent on offense that you're able to get by all of his amazing acrobatics. You weren't in Game 3. And if I'm Tampa Bay and I walk away a few days from now, 2-2, going into Colorado, dare I say that the Lightning win in 6? Hear me out. If the Lightning win Game 2...
I'm not going to hear you out on this
Hear me out.
Okay,
hear me
hold
out.
on. You were on...
And this is coming from someone, again, I think the Avalanche are a much better team. But something has to be said for experience. This is their 3rd straight Stanley Cup final.
That's
They're
cute.
there for a reason. And they showed their grit yesterday. They
You're
just
not
did.
wrong.
And that kind of grit, we'll find out in Game 4 if the Avalanche have it in them. Do the Avalanche have the capability of scoring at will? Yes, they do. Makar, again, 2 points last night. Rantanen on the board twice. Landeskog on the board twice. They accounted for both goals. That trio. Are they experienced enough to win Game 4? Because I'm going to tell you right now, if the Lightning tie it up, I see this going to 7 likely, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Lightning win in 6. Because all the momentum is in the Lightning's favor. You head to Colorado. The Lightning are an experienced team. They don't care that they're on the road. They got blown out twice in Colorado. They're not going to get blown out a 3rd time.
Well, they're
And the
also-
first loss wasn't overtime, to be fair to them. So they feel they can win in Colorado. And I believe, again, if they win Game 4...
it's the Stanley Cup playoffs, the finals. I would hope they feel like they could win. They made it this far.
They did.
It's supposed to be a battle. It's not supposed to be a sweep.
It's not supposed to, but when you get your ass kicked like they did the first 2 games...
Yeah.
And not really their ass kicked.
Just
The
only
amount of
one.
goals they gave up in
Yeah.
the first 2 games was ridiculous. It's something you don't associate with the Lightning. But... yeah, call me crazy. I'm really curious to hear what DMAC thinks, but I think momentum matters. It does play a factor. And when you are a young, less experienced team like the Avalanche are, and you get punched in the mouth in Game 3, and you don't answer in Game 4, what's the mindset going into Game 5? I think age matters. Experience matters. The Lightning have it. If they can tie up the series, I think this could probably go 7. If they don't, the Avalanche are winning the Cup pretty damn easily. So that's easy for me to say, right?
I see the Avalanche winning the next two.
Why? Did you have money on them?
No, I didn't.
Oh, that's
bet
unfortunate.
Yesterday. I was crying yesterday, so I couldn't think
I'm
about
aware.
betting.
I'm aware. Just so you guys know, every Tuesday, me and Maddie have a 10:15 meeting scheduled in our conference room.
Yep.
Where she just cries for a half hour. It's a routine. Don't worry, she's okay.
I'm going to be fine.
She's gonna be okay. 10:45, she'll be a new human being.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
I promise.
Hey, did any of you guys see Charles Barkley yesterday?
No.
First period
what'd he say?
intermission. Well, he was just talking hockey. It was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, I did see him.
Him,
I
Mark
was not paying
Messier,
attention.
and I'm forgetting who the other. I'm drawing a blank on the other person. But
They're paying him
all-
a lot of money, buddy. They got to use him in multiple ways, not just NBA. NBA season's over.
Yeah, but that's ABC. He's on TNT.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Either way.
I just thought it was.
He's on TNT as well, by the way.
I know. But I'm just saying the hockey's on. That was on ABC last night. That wasn't on TNT.
What's up, Maddie?
I was just going to say, I think that the Avs are going to learn from their mistakes, and they're going to come back, win tonight, and then they'll win at home.
Next game's tomorrow, but.
I
Sorry.
agree.
You know what I meant.
Don't need to compete this year. We won't make it anywhere in the playoffs. I disagree. Man, guy, friend, bro. What a
Wait,
name.
what?
Man, guy, friend, bro. It's an awesome name. I disagree. No, you should want to get to the playoffs, and you want to lose in the first round or second round if you're a hockey team. You're going to have to get this experience out of the way eventually. You don't just suddenly become a contender and go all the way to the Stanley Cup final and win, unless you have a super team. The Avalanche have their bumps in the roads. They've had disappointing series in the past few years. So I believe if the Red Wings can make a push for the playoffs. By the way, we have a special guest tomorrow. And I hope to God I'm not about to botch his name completely.
Uh-oh.
Who's our special guest?
Prasanth Iyer. He is a former Red Wings beat reporter and writer for The Athletic.
Ooh.
For the Detroit Red Wings. So tomorrow we're going to have him on at 9 o'clock. We're going to discuss the possible head coaching availabilities for the Red Wings. Who's available? Who should they pursue? We're going to discuss Sebastian Casa. That's going to be fun.
You
And
know
of
who
course,
else is surprisingly a hockey fan? Braylon Edwards.
Braylon?
Yeah,
That's his favorite sport.
Yeah, he's a big hockey fan.
If I could make one, like, a short sentence pitch to the American public on why they should watch hockey.
Oh, the fight last night was fantastic.
Forget the fight. It was amazing, though. But
It was good.
it's nonstop, right?
Yeah.
So, like, this is the thing with soccer. With soccer, there's dead periods in the game. People hate that. Baseball, dead periods in the game.
No. They hate
that.
soccer more because the score is 0-0 after 90 minutes. That's
But
why.
the goals in soccer are at least like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, there's so much
There's
dead
dead
time
periods
in a
in hockey,
baseball
too.
game. Wait, dead time in a baseball game.
Yeah.
And a soccer game. Even in basketball sometimes, where it's just like, what am I watching here? My favorite player's off the court. What am I watching?
Yep.
In hockey, 3 periods, 20 minutes, nonstop. And if you attend a game in person,
Yeah,
you'll
that's the
become a
best
hockey
thing,
fan.
yeah.
If you, there's no better experience, in my opinion, than a hockey game in person. Better than football, better than basketball, better than anything, better than baseball. Hockey games, in my opinion, are the most fun to go to. And when you get drunk, everybody around you is drunk.
course. That's
And
what
when
I
a
was
goal
gonna say.
scored, even if you're losing 5-2, you're celebrating with the people next to you.
for
It's a great
sure.
time. So I recommend all of you go to a hockey game. Owen's in the building. Owen, we are going to discuss who's under most pressure in the Big Ten this year at 9:40, so that'll be fun. But before then, I need to bring up Kyrie Irving on his way out in Brooklyn. We'll get to that in a bit. But before we do, Maddie, could you tell everybody at home about our good friends over at Cintron?
Yes, I can. The summer of Cintron is here, and it is now available at your local Kroger. Pick it up. They've got a deal going on right now, 2 for just $4. That's an absolute steal. Cintron is a new energy drink for the active lifestyle. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
Yo, Scott from Woodward Bets. Hey, hopefully you guys have been following along. That's 6 out of 7 days I gave you a winner. But we're going to get back to those winners here in a second. But first, you guys got to download oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and it's the best place to compare all the odds at the sports books right in the palm of your hand. Hey, let's get back to that winner. Been red hot 6 out of 7 days in a row. Today, we're rolling with the White Sox to beat the Blue Jays. Gossman's struggling a little bit. Cease's been pitching well. Woodward Bets, oddstrader.com. Check it out.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Open all summer long from Memorial Day to Labor Day. There will be basketball, roller skating, mini golf, art installations, Maddie, live music, and food trucks. Free Wi-Fi so you can work from the park. And, of course, the amazing sign that Alex Westfall is currently holding will be available to all of you at Bedrock Detroit on the Monroe Street Midway. Summer is better at the Monroe Street Midway, and it's brought to you by our good friends over at Bedrock Detroit. I'm excited. I think I'm going this weekend as well, by the way. I promised the family we'd do a little event together, outing.
Wonderful.
So I figured we'd go to the
It better not be like the trophy where you keep delaying it.
My husband, Michael, and I are going to be going soon.
That's right. Did Neil marry you guys yet, or no?
No, not yet.
Well, let me give you a lesson in life on commitment.
I don't need one because
Well, you're going to get one.
Clearly I have
Well, you're about to get one, and
issues.
so is Kyrie Irving. So Kyrie Irving, on his way out of Brooklyn, reportedly, they're at an impasse with his contract.
Yep.
I don't want this to be a bash Kyrie Irving segment.
But it is.
You have to. Bash him.
I'm going to use it as a opportunity to enlighten a lot of you in life.
He's going to play with LeBron James
Sometimes,
again, idiot.
no. Sometimes in life, you feel like there's more for you. Or there's a better situation out there than what you have now. And when you're always looking for the next and the more and the next and the next, you end up doing what Kyrie Irving does, which is, and Kevin Durant to an extent, which is leaving the best situation you had with LeBron James and going to Boston and then Brooklyn. And what has that done for you, Kyrie? Nobody takes your game seriously anymore. People haven't seen you play in the longest time. You're not one of the better players like everybody expected you to be in the league anymore. And you're now regarded as a liability who cares more about off the field issues than off the court issues than on the court. And the lesson here is appreciate what you have. And try not to be the person that needs to go out and make a big mistake to appreciate what they had. And I believe Kyrie Irving now more than ever appreciates LeBron James more than ever. Because he remembers, like, damn, that was my guy. It was me and him. And I left him for what? Boston? That was very early in the process? Brooklyn with Kevin Durant? Kyrie's not an alpha leader. KD's not an alpha leader. And they have great game and they're amazing players. But they have not proven in their careers that they can be the alpha leaders. The guys that carry the team emotionally, not just on the court. And that's been the biggest problem. What's up, Maddie?
Our friends are back in the chat. This time's message was stop jerking.
Hey, you know what? That's a healthy thing to stop doing. Sometimes you got to get someone to jerk it for you instead of you doing it yourself.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying it's a lot more efficient. You use less energy, and, we're just going to... What are we doing here?
This is definitely a good...
You asked me what I was laughing about, so I told you what I was laughing about.
Yeah.
Don't throw that pen at me, too.
Anyways.
You know, my friend can't see in one of his eyes because somebody threw keys at him.
Anyways. I'm being attacked by fish. Just so you know, that was on camera, buddy.
That's
You're going to
fine.
be arrested by the end of the show.
Just a typical day at Woodward Sports.
Oh, God. Anyways, on a serious note, Kyrie to the Lakers, I think, makes so much sense. But I'm going to ask you guys. Brooklyn. You're the Brooklyn GM. What are the Lakers going to give you for Kyrie Irving? Russell Westbrook? You're going to get that scrub? And then what? If I'm Brooklyn, I'm demanding at least one first-round pick in the future unprotected. Could be 2-3 years from now. I need at least a one. Because I'm taking Russell Westbrook, who is what he is at this point in his career, and I'm going to give Kyrie Irving to LeBron James and the Lakers along with AD. You want to talk about a super team? If Kyrie gets right, the Lakers would be a very scary team out in Los Angeles. So that's a tricky situation. But again, life advice. Don't be like Kyrie Irving, and don't be like Kevin Durant. When you're in the good situation and people care about you, and they take care of you, they allow you to succeed at the highest level, they allow you to be the best you can be. Don't, unless you can, don't. Stop being selfish a little bit. The story of Kyrie Irving, the story of Kevin Durant is just them being selfish and unaware of themselves. They're not leaders. They're not born leaders of men. Steph was the leader of that team in Golden State. LeBron was the leader in Cleveland. Was Kyrie at his best in Cleveland? Absolutely. Was KD at his best in Golden State? Absolutely. Notice how they were at their best and not the leaders and not the sole person responsible at the end of the day. The person that you hold accountable at the end of the day. You held LeBron accountable. You held Steph Curry and Steve Kerr accountable in Golden State. So I don't think the trade makes sense if I'm Brooklyn. What are the Lakers going to give me, huh? Isn't there a stipend rule where you can't give away a certain amount of first-round picks in a given moment in the NBA? So I don't even know if the Lakers can give up those picks because they've mortgaged everything already. So you guys tell me, how the hell are you going to convince the Brooklyn GM to give away Kyrie Irving for Russell Westbrook? That's like giving away that's like giving away a hot dog, a fully loaded hot dog for a bun.
That sounds good.
Russell Westbrook is just a bun. Kyrie's a loaded hot dog. You got the onions, the mustard, the ketchup, the hot dog. You got it all. Russell Westbrook's just a waste of life.
So are you.
Wait.
Nobody asked the Russell Westbrook superfan in the building. This is a unbiased topic. This is why you're not talking.
Unbiased topic? Are you freaking kidding me?
Jeez. Unbiased my ass. Who's talking? Yikes.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Fish, what's your opinion of Russell Westbrook? Do you think he's a good player, buddy, since you're going to give me crap?
I mean, he's good. He's not great, but he's good. I mean, he gets rebounds, assists, and stats.
I know. That's all he cares about, buddy.
He helps his team to an extent. To an extent. He doesn't help his team fully, but...
Defend your man.
He helps his team to an extent.
Defend your man.
He can stand up for himself.
If Russell Westbrook had other players, he might win a ring.
If Russell Westbrook had the mindset of a Steph Curry or a Klay Thompson or a Draymond Green, he could be one of the better players in the league. He had supreme talent.
I mean, that's anybody.
Well, of course it's anybody. Well, that's why he's not. Well, that's why he's just average.
Okay.
He's not a good player. For those reasons, he's just gifted.
You can't just say that he's average and then say he's not a good player.
But
he's not.
Kyrie's the same thing. Kyrie's basically
Kyrie
a Russell
at least
Westbrook.
proved on the biggest stage that he could contribute to a championship team. What did Russell Westbrook do?
He'll score points. The team he's on is just
I just don't
bad.
understand why we're even talking. You know what?
Russell Westbrook is
I'm
not.
my Russell Westbrook jersey in here tomorrow.
He's not as bad as people think.
Oh, he is as bad as people think. Trust
no,
me.
I'm gonna wear my Blake Griffin jersey in here tomorrow.
Good. Now everyone know who smashed yesterday.
Oh boy.
I didn't smash Blake Griffin yesterday.
Oh, the day before, whatever.
No.
What are we doing here?
By the way, does LeBron want?
bad.
Does LeBron want Kyrie Irving? Because
I think he'd want Kyrie Irving more than Russell Westbrook. Absolutely.
But if I'm LeBron, I tell Kyrie Irving to F off because Kyrie did the same thing to LeBron.
Get out of here. Russell Westbrook is a waste of oxygen. But anyways, we're gonna go to break.
You're a waste of oxygen.
I know, Maddie. When we get back, shut the hell up. When we get back,
You shut the hell up.
we're gonna talk some Big Ten football
No,
with
you know
Owen.
what? I need to
And
tell
you're gonna tell everybody
here
about actual defense because Russell Westbrook doesn't know how to play
how
it.
Adham needs
out.
to stay out
Stay the hell
of
out.
this entire
Get
world.
away. Leave. Please.
Guardian
now.
Alarm, they keep you safe and give you peace of mind. Whether you're at home or on the road, their 24/7 local monitoring makes sure what's important to you is safe. Give them a call today at 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's right, you heard Fish. 1-800-STAY-OUT right now and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Get out.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
When you need a barrel, there is only one place to go, and that's Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround time, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or give them a call today at 844-4-BIG-FROG.
All right, we're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. Looks like Brooke Koepka leaving the...
Thanks for not throwing anything at me this time.
Yeah, no problem. Leaving the PGA Tour for the LIV Tour. I don't know why they're doing this.
You know why.
Fuck him, I agree.
Don't be honest. You know why.
Honestly.
You know
Such a
why they're
pussy.
doing it. It's money.
What a bitch move.
He's still hot.
Yeah. So? What does that have to do with golf? Maddie.
Listen.
Maddie cares about the important things, actually.
No.
I should take a lesson or two.
You should.
You're right. Russell
You'd be-
Westbrook is
you'd
hot.
be with-
I should disregard
Russell
how bad
Westbrook
he is at
not
basketball.
hot. Russell Westbrook is not hot.
Kyrie?
Also not hot.
Steph?
Also not hot.
Really?
Yeah.
You wouldn't smash Steph?
I'd smash Steph because of his physical abilities. but That's
Oh,
about it.
boy.
Maddie knows a thing or
boy.
two about physical abilities, let me tell you.
I think you just dig yourself in a hole there.
All right, boys. Which Big Ten team is under the most pressure heading into the season? Owen, would love for you to be in on this conversation. I'm going to tell you who I think is under the most pressure.
Okay.
And you tell me if you agree or disagree.
Gotcha.
I think number one is Ryan Day in Ohio State.
I knew you would say that.
And I don't
knew
think
you'd
it's
say
even
that.
close. They didn't win the Big Ten last year, right? The expectation always is to win the Big Ten. They feel it's a given right, given how talented they are as a football team. If they go 2 years without winning the Big Ten, Ryan Day probably loses his job. And it's funny because he's only lost once in the Big Ten. Once. It was this past season in Michigan. Like, he does not lose games.
Right. You can't.
And I find him under the most pressure, though. Because if you don't win with C.J. Stroud, Smith and Jimba, Marvin Harrison Jr., and that team, and Henderson in the backfield, if you don't win with that offense this year, oof, I mean,
You
and
think
maybe
he
not
gets-
cost him his job, but
You think he gets fired after this season if he doesn't win the Big Ten?
if he doesn't win the Big Ten this year, it's a conversation. I don't know if they let him go, right? Because what? They have another one-loss season. Let's say it's to Michigan or Michigan State or Penn State, whoever they lose to, but they don't get to the Big Ten title game. Well, that's kind of not acceptable either. But would you put a one-loss Ohio State team in there? Probably not. They were a two-loss team last year. They lost to Oregon and Michigan. That was their only Big Ten loss. If they only lose one game this year and it's to a ranked Big Ten team, I don't know. It's a conversation, at least. With that talent, I think it's a massive failure for Ohio State.
No, I agree. I would put them second. Number one for me is Nebraska, just because you put your head coach under an ultimatum, and that's never going to work out well. And the fact that they were so close to winning so many games. Adrian Martinez against...
Yeah, he's such a good coach, though. I don't like that. I don't like what they did.
Well, yeah. It's because football's a religion and Cornhusker Nation. And
well, Cornhusker Nation need to remember it's not 1937.
Well, yeah. But,
we're in 2022.
You know how those type of people
I
think
know.
down there.
That's sad to me because I think Scott Frost is solid. I do think he's a good coach. Between Michigan and Michigan State, who do you think is under more pressure?
I knew you would ask me that. I think it's really close.
It's not even close.
I think
Michigan.
you shut the hell up.
Easily Michigan.
Because it's such a toss-up, because Michigan's coming off obviously winning a Big Ten championship. If they want to continue climbing that ladder, but they have the easier schedule. So I think it's Michigan that they need to perform this year because of how easy their schedule is. Sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah, being attacked here. Sorry. Continue.
Going all over the place. But Michigan State, they have such a hard schedule and whatnot. I think that they can get away with still winning 9 games and then the year after win a Big Ten championship. I think for Michigan, this is such a vital time in their program history, especially with them not using NIL as much as State, Ohio State, Penn State, etc. I know you talked about that earlier in the show. I didn't know what you said, but it's such an interesting time for Michigan that I think they're under a little bit more pressure than Michigan State because they have State
Michigan's
at home.
in theory, under pressure because they're the defending Big Ten champions, right?
Yeah.
And they have the expectation this year that they want to be somewhere around competing for the Big Ten again, if not winning it. You know, a lot of people say, well, you know, Tuck coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when do we start having the conversation of when he's here? And I thought last year was a big year for Michigan State.
It was huge, yeah.
And it's paying off already in the recruiting class for 2023 and 24. But I think Michigan State is still early in the process. You have to remember what they're doing. This is not an excuse for Michigan State. The reality is they're trying to be like Ohio State and Michigan, be like Florida, Georgia, Bama, not to the extent of success, but at least nationally revered, where when I'm a top prospect in the country, they're on my top 10 list. They're on the short list at least. They may not be there at the end, but they're on the short list. That's what Oregon did.
Right.
So Michigan State's in that process. I don't think Michigan State have the pressure that Michigan have this year. But if I were to answer who's under more pressure, it is Michigan. There's winning expectations in Ann Arbor. I don't think anybody's looking at Michigan State this year and saying Big Ten title or bust. They're not there yet. Besides Mel Tucker, but they're not there yet. And I don't think, but to be fair, dynamic backfield, solid offensive line, Peyton Thorne going into a second full season, I think massive improvements. The second best quarterback in the Big Ten, in my opinion, only behind C.J. Stroud. Jaden Reed back. This is a Michigan State offense that could make some noise. Will they be improved on defense? You'd like to think so.
Yeah, I think so.
So who knows? I think Michigan State is a 9-win team, maybe 10 with a bowl game. I still think they're early in the process. Michigan, I think, are under more pressure because a lot of factors. Not only the Big Ten expectations, but if you start Cade McNamara this whole season, well, then what does that mean for your football team? And do we have to do the what-if conversation at the end of the year, which I hate doing? So for me, Michigan, I think, is at the crossroad of what do you want to be? Brought up NIL earlier. They are not going to pay for recruits. Fine. Continue to win. But boy, you answer this honestly as a Michigan State fan.
Yeah.
Would it be more of a threat if Michigan won 10 games with Cade McNamara on the recruiting trail if they won 10 games with Cade or J.J. McCarthy?
I would say
it would be more of a threat.
I think JJ, because, I mean, JJ would probably transfer if Cade started another year for the entire year. I don't think his goal is to obviously start and become one of the stars in NCAA football. I think you send him out for another year, he's going to transfer. And then you got Dante looking at Michigan as well. Who knows where he'll commit to. I mean, it's all really a toss-up in the air. But I think we're going to start, after this year, we're going to start seeing that difference between Michigan not using the NIL and teams like Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State. I mean, we're seeing it right now. And I know it's very early in recruiting for 2023, but Michigan State's currently at 10 with 8 4-stars. And Ohio State obviously is always up there.
Yep.
But the goal is to get to Ohio State's level, and that's the only way you're going to beat them.
And I would love to say Michigan's taking that seriously. But again, I agree. If JJ starts all year and they go 10-2 on the regular season, let's say they drop a game to Ohio State, Nebraska, or Penn State, whatever, doesn't matter. They go 10-2. Is anyone going to be crying here saying, well, if Cade McNamara was the starter, we would have won 12-0? I don't think that's the case. And if you do go 10 wins and you play in a New Year's Six Bowl, what happens then? What happens then, Owen? J.J. McCarthy on national stage, playing, going into his junior year. He will be the starting quarterback in 2023.
100%.
And everybody will be like, man, Michigan playing 5-star recruits. Donovan Edwards, he's a hell of a player. He was a big-time prospect. Ronnie Bell, not as highly touted, but still Ronnie Bell is a big deal.
Right.
If you're going to play with these guys and you want to recruit more Ronnie Bells, you want to recruit more 4- or 5-star recruits, yes, you're Michigan, you can do it automatically. But boy, if you do it with J.J. McCarthy, sky's the limit, in my opinion.
So you say Michigan automatically recruiting. I think with the NIL,
it could go backwards.
Correct, because of long are gone now are the days of who has the nicest facilities, what's your program history been, has it been great and whatnot. I mean, if you're paying kids and they're making millions of dollars to go to your school, you're probably going to choose them over, I guess, quote unquote academics. How many of those kids really care about the education?
Harbaugh was quoted saying, "We will not pay for recruits."
Right, and that's
when they
concerning.
get here, they will benefit from the university. So
yeah, and it's like
that's a tricky slope. But we got to go to break. When we get back, we'll continue the conversation a bit, and we'll get to mailbag. So everybody, drop your questions in the chat. But before we do, Maddie, could you tell everybody where you'll be having lunch today?
Yes, I'll be having lunch at Big Boy, but that's not what's important. What's important is that buffets are back on the weekends, every weekend from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Don't forget to try their classics like the Slim Jim, Deli Chicken Sandwich, and of course, the original Big Boy. Find your nearest location at bigboy.com.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on The Roar on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2. It's mailbag time. Get your questions in the chat. What kind of questions do we got today, Adam?
We'll start with a Brooks Koepka-esque question. Adam, if you had a guaranteed chance to have $4 million every week because no cuts, that's what the Live Tournament's winner will get, and $120K minimum. Would you leave Woodward for ESPN for a similar? No, actually, I wouldn't. I'm in a different situation here, so.
Okay.
He loves me too much to leave.
There's
Sorry.
that, and also just the business side of things.
Can I bring
which
something
is
up?
irrelevant.
Because I guess he had a comment that he made, and he talked about happiness, and it's not about money, it's about happiness.
He doesn't love golfing professionally. That's a fact. We all know this. He likes to compete sometimes. He's not about the grind of the PGA Tour.
So
That's
yeah,
just
so
the truth.
this tournament's perfect for him because it's 8 events. Next year, I think it goes to
That's
10.
fine. I don't mind him going and getting money. I don't have an issue with the money. My issue is
Thanks
like
for
you're
letting me
actually
finish, by the
leaving
way.
the tour, which allows you to reach a different stardom.
Yeah.
As a competitor.
But he said it's happiness, and he said it's not
If he's
about
happy,
money.
He can go. I don't care.
If it's happiness, this is, and you talked about him not wanting to play all the tournaments, 8 tournaments a year, perfect for him. And the first
Yeah,
tournament,
yeah.
everyone said how fun it was. Dustin Johnson said he was smiling, is very happy. So they're trying to bring the fun back in golf. I guess this is what they're doing.
I don't like what's going on at the Live Tour. I don't think it's fun at all.
Next week they're in Portland, by the way.
I think they all suck. Adam, when you make fish cry, do you make up the next day? No, I buy
Hell
him
no.
Lunchables. I buy him Lunchables, and we're good after that. Right, Fish?
Yes.
All right. Let's see what other questions we have in the
Wait,
chat.
I never got a Lunchable. The hell?
Have I ever made you guys cry?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Thanks, Westfall. Thank you.
You? Multiple
Yes.
times? When have I
There
ever
we go.
insulted you?
Are you serious?
When have you not?
When have
have
I
you not?
ever insulted Al?
You
When have you
always
not?
insult Westfall.
Yeah, when have you not?
What do you mean today I complimented him?
What'd you say?
I included him in our Lady Jane's copy.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. I said if you have awesome hair like me, Jeff and Alex.
But that goes over
Bitch.
our heads. Wow.
Yeah, what now?
You just called me a bitch.
You can say that. You're calling back. You're allowed to say that.
Well, guess
You
what?
called me and verbally assaulted me on the phone at 1:30 in the morning yesterday.
You're not wrong.
So.
Oh, and then you called, or I called you at 2 a.m.
There you go.
Middle of the day.
Oh, you're a bitch.
Hey.
Damn right I am.
He likes that too much.
You knew he would.
Maddie likes her hair pulled. I like being called a bitch.
The door is open to the studio
I'm
right
so
now.
sorry. I can't help myself.
Adam doesn't care.
I'm not worried about the people watching. I'm worried about the people in the office.
Oh my God, Adam.
Maddie,
Mailbag.
if you thought Adam cared, you're wrong.
Oh my God, Adam.
Adam does
Who's
what he
better,
wants.
Elmer Fudd or Goss Sommer? It's okay if you have to look up Goss. No one knows him by his name. Who the hell's Goss Sommer? What?
He said, "Look it up if you don't know."
Where is this question?
It's by Funky. Oh, the little red hairy dude. Oh no, Elmer. Elmer, 100%. Elmer Fudd over this guy, 100%.
Do you know who it is, Alex? No.
You know the red little hairy dude?
From what
All
show?
right, yeah, so you talk about me, huh? Unbelievable. Adam, why are you such a boomer? I really don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know either. I don't think any of us
Unbelievable.
knows.
Hope everyone's having a good one. What's today,
We got-
Tuesday?
Yeah, we got 4 minutes.
It's Tuesday.
He called her, let's see. What are you guys getting worked up about how I talk to Maddie? Shut the hell up. Stop being
Yeah,
soft
you're
in the
probably
chat.
getting DMs
Me
about
and
how
Maddie are
aggressive you
BFFs.
treat
Yeah,
your
we're
coworkers.
gonna get aggressively tweeted at today.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
you're gonna
that's
get
right.
Adam
DMs.
treats
Yeah.
everybody like
Oh,
crap.
yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get a
God.
DM.
Here we go.
How dare
I got to
him.
get ready for the hippos to attack me
I'm
on
never
Twitter.
gonna watch Woodward
Yeah.
Sports again.
And Adam be doing stop offending
All
your
the
woman
hippos are coming
coworkers.
after me today. How dare you talk to her like that?
Yep.
How could you ever talk to
She's a
another
damsel in
lady?
distress. She can't handle herself.
Yep, that's cancelable,
Shut up,
Adam.
bitch. Go eat a salad. Me and Maddie are cool, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
By the way,
Cool
aren't they?
as F.
Anyways.
By the way, aren't they tubs?
What
Isn't
is
that
it?
their new? Aren't they tubs, not hippos?
No, they're walruses.
Oh,
Whatever. I don't care. At
walruses?
the end of the day, they weigh too much. I like this question. Let's say the Pistons managed to acquire a second lottery pick. Let's say the 7th overall pick, just for the sake of your question, sir. Which 2 players do they draft? Who I'd want them to draft if they could walk away with it? Ivy and Mathurin. Realistically, if I had to choose between the 2 that they could lock, I would just get Ivy at 5. And then at 7, I'd have my choice probably between Sharp, Griffin, Jordan. We got what? Davis, Keegan Murray likely gone by then. That's a tough one. I would say the ideal situation, everybody I think would be happy, Mathurin and Ivy. I don't think there's a better situation out there. What other questions do we have? Any insight into the Red Wings head coaching search and names? Mike G, tune in at 9 o'clock tomorrow. And we will provide insight. We have a special guest from The Athletic, formerly of The Athletic, joining to discuss the Detroit Red Wings head coaching search. So I am excited about that. Last question before we go. Let's see. Maddie, help me with a question. I'm looking. I can't find. How much longer is Avila the GM? Neil Rule's second furnace. I love that name. How much longer? I don't know.
End of the season.
Today is too much. He shouldn't be in.
Well,
he
he
shouldn't
will.
be in charge another day. They should begin the search now. Not sell anybody outside of, or excuse me, not be sellers in the market. They should only trade Michael Fulmer, maybe at most, and let a new GM come in by the end of the season if possible.
Who would you have as the new GM?
Epstein's name has been thrown around, but that's hard. That's a
I'd
tough
rather
one.
have no GM than have Avila.
I would agree with you on that. I would agree with you on that. DMAC in the building. That's nice to see. Let's see. Adam hopping on the Jeff and Gentry show live at 10 a.m. That's
Yes.
right. Make sure you check out the Jeff and Gentry show.
Jeff and Gentry show.
I did make an appearance yesterday.
did.
Quite the
I
appearance.
saw the teaser.
Oh, it was
That was
awesome.
a good teaser.
They caught me sleeping.
Yeah, you hammering down a donut.
Oh, hell yeah.
How do you not?
God, I hadn't eaten breakfast in like 3 weeks.
Michael brought me a donut this morning.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
We got to go. Everybody have a good rest of your Tuesday. Me and Maddie are going to go cry until 10:45.
Can I join you?
Thank you all. Owen, you did a great job. Fish, you're awesome. Alex, go suck a dick. Everybody else, have a great rest of your day. And remember, Avila should not be in charge of the Detroit Tigers. Have a blessed